Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hytale podcast, your number one source for Hytale news and podcast news and all that sort of good stuff. We're here today with a special guest. You probably have seen him before on some Giga Chad memes. This is ThirtyVirus.
Hello.
He's here.
I would say mostly the OGs know who I am. I haven't really touched Hytale in some months now, but
I mean, we haven't touched Hytale at all, so.
All three of us are OGs, so we know each other's stories.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, if you guys don't know, 30 was a very big community member back in the original Hytale days. He was your videos got very viral when you made them on Hytale.
Yeah, I had that I guess commentary style content where it's just playing Bed Wars while talking about my theories for what was gonna happen, my advice for the devs on what I think should happen. I made a few videos that were like breaking the fourth wall, talking about like the community, what people have been saying about me. I don't know. I just uploaded a whole lot, and I just, for the first time in like 8 years at that point of making videos, it was something that worked. So I just went all in, like uploaded. I don't know if I'd say daily, but
it was like almost daily.
Yeah, I watched every single one of them.
Yeah, I think in the playlist there's like at least like 80 videos for just pre-release Hytale. I don't know how that happened because like it was working with all we had, which was like blogs. So
hey, at least
I mean, back then
we had
that didn't seem like a lot, but
yeah, we got weekly blogs back then. It was awesome.
Yeah, compared to now, that was we were just overflowing with content.
Oh, it was crazy. Yeah. I mean, that's also when the
then,
game was expected to release like in 2019 or 2022. So like now it's just, you know.
I was watching some of Chris's old videos, and he was saying like how weekly blog posts there was like almost no information to talk about, and I'm like, if you could say that today.
Oops.
Yeah.
I'll eat my words there. Jeez.
You jinxed it.
And like literally, was it today or yesterday? I think it was today, where the blog came out for the first time in over a year. Like
close to a year.
Bro.
Bro, I got absolutely bamboozled on Discord. Everybody was, because I was at work and I just checked Discord, right? And everybody's like, "Oh my god, they released a release date," and I was just going nuts. I'm like, "Oh, let's go, boys! This is gonna be hype." And then Myne texted me and said it was fake, and I was sad because I didn't read the blog. I just saw what people were saying. So
I'm never gonna forget. Shotgun Raids messaged me directly back in those days, the old days, and was like, "Oh yeah, it's coming out in the summer of 2021. No, don't worry about it."
I mean, it was supposed to come out.
It was
in 2021.
planned to come out in 2021 until
it was
right, and the redevelopment happened.
And there's like a very particular day I remember, and it was that day. It was that blog that they released in the summer of 2021. 2021, and they basically were like, "Hey, it's not coming out for like another 2 years at least." It was something like that they said. I was sitting
at the earliest.
Yeah, I was sitting in the lobby of like some courtroom because I had been jury duty summoned.
Oh, that's tough.
So I'm sitting there, a week of litigation ahead of me. Me, the Minecraft YouTuber, was like one of 8 people that determined the fate of some legal decision. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what. But like on top of that, everything I'd been doing up until that point was to stay alive and make sure that ThirtyVirus was still around by the time the game came out. And seeing that was crushing.
Oh, I died inside. Absolutely.
I think everyone lost a bit of themselves that day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like
that was the worst Canada day of my life.
But anyway,
it's Canada Day this weekend. So
we're still here 2 years later. We're still alive. We're still out here doing all the things. We're trying to keep our channels going.
Sort of.
But I guess that would be a good segue into why I'm here, I guess, right? I made a few tweets. I mean, that's up to CanadianFlash to answer. Because that's where the invitation came from. But basically, I'd hit a tipping point with Skyblock. So for those that are unaware, I wanted Hytale to be my thing until Hytale wasn't a thing, so I had to make something else work, and then Skyblock came out at literally the perfect time, and I just kind of came over.
You were
and
able to kind of ride that wave.
Yeah, like over 1,000 videos later, we're still in Skyblock.
Yeah, you really rode the wave.
Yeah, some would say I was like the wave itself in some parts. I don't know if that.
Trends are the wave. Interesting.
I would
Influencer.
I'll put myself in the top 5, but refuse to say where in that list. And amongst who, definitely not
That's
number
smart.
1 or number 2. I would say, but still in the Skyblock world, I'm probably what you guys saw me as in the Hytale world. I was like up there, but not
Yeah,
like
one of the
You're the
pillars.
Hytale guy.
I'd like to be known as the Hytale guy. But anyway.
Hey, no, sorry.
But anyway, I sound so egotistical saying that. I freaking hate it.
Yeah,
but
it's okay.
like,
we get it on Reddit all the time.
So 8,000 hours of gameplay later, 1,000 videos recorded. I'm sitting here as this interview's happening. I'm holding down the D key and the space bar, which has been remapped from the left mouse key to space bar to farm in Skyblock. This is my life. This has been my life for 4 years.
Really?
And I'm just like, when is the next step? When's the next chapter? It's like I'm living Groundhog Day. Like, every single day is the same. I don't feel like I'm progressing. In some ways, I'm progressing backwards because, I mean, the reality is, especially with the Rift update coming out, YouTube content for Skyblock is a hard sell. It's not like, oh, let's upload episode 10 of the Let's Play and just get 100,000 views. Those days are long gone. So, like, I'm sitting here and it's like, I'm grinding 12 hours a day to get hopefully a video title every like 20 to 40 hours of gameplay. And I'm like, when is it gonna be over? Like, I don't want this to be my life. Like, there's so much I could do with my time if I just did anything but this. So, like, that was the tweet. That was where the tweet came from, is this frustration of, like, if I had put in 40 hours a week for 4 years, like a quote full-time effort, I could have literally made my own Hytale by now. Like, not literally Hytale itself, not even close. What I would have put out if it was just me by myself probably would have been close to that one spin-off project from the ex-Hytale developer. Not gonna throw shade. Vintage Story. Yes. I would have probably made something like that if it was just me. Something like the game itself that we've seen. That takes a monumentous amount of effort and knowledge that I do not have. I'm just gonna say. But
or work on your own engine. Button Press, I think it's called.
Button Press is the company. The game is called Project Immortal for now. I'm not sure if that's what it's gonna be. But I am making an in-house engine called RP Games Engine, and that's where all my programming efforts should be going. But as I'm sure you guys can tell, Skyblock has eaten that part of my life completely. Yeah. There is nothing but Skyblock. There is only Skyblock. You can't spend any other time doing any other thing. I wanted to code an app. I wanted to make a game engine. Wanted to code a game. At one point, I wanted to sell protein ice cream out of a electric ice cream truck. Or at least own the business that does it. Yeah,
that's something cool.
Yeah, like,
I mean, I would buy it.
Yeah. It was like 20 grams of protein per like 120 calories or something. It was ridiculous. Like,
great.
The plan was just to park it right outside of gyms and just like hope that
That's a good target audience, I have to say.
Yeah, so that was another idea. You know, there's so many things I want to do with my time, but every time I get a good idea, it's like, okay, now you got to do it. And it's like, I can do that, but I need to get a video out in 3 days, and I gotta farm 10 million carrots. Whatever. Actually, speaking of carrots, right now, my goal is like, it's something absolutely insane. I don't know the true math of it, but like, for anyone that plays Skyblock, it's like a stack and a half of ultimate carrot candies. I don't know if that means anything to people watching this, but that's like 100 hours of, no, 20, 30 hours maybe of farming total. right now.
I don't know how the heck you do that, man. I get
And
bored
that's
after, like,
just to
1
make
hour.
a video.
Yeah.
One video. So it is frustrating. That the source of the tweet was the frustration that this is my life, and I've determined at this point, as long as Skyblock is a thing, I'm not doing anything else with my life. I can't. I physically cannot play this game to the capacity where I'm respected enough in the community for people to be like, wow, he's like really progressed. And also do literally anything else. That's the reason that like RP Games Engine hasn't seen any progress in like 4 years, ever since the release of Skyblock. Like, it's taken everything, all of my time. And to know, I mean, obviously there's a benefit, right? It's not like it's taking from me. It is giving me everything, but also taking everything else away. It's like, you will get much better compensation here than anywhere else, but this is all you're doing.
Yeah,
And
it's
for the foreseeable
like,
future, this is all you are doing,
Right.
and anything else would be stupid. And it
yeah.
hurts. It's
So-
It's
just
like kind of unlucky because you chose the niche, and it's given you obviously this career, but it's also so draining because the game is like an endless grind, and it takes so extremely long for that to do. Because I imagine if you did like almost any other Minecraft niche, that would not be an issue.
it would be
You could
dead. It'd be gone. Yeah, absolutely.
You
Like,
just
as
have
much
to
as
find
I'd
another
want to
niche.
make, as much as I'd love to get like 1 million views making a Fallout New Vegas video, how long would that last? Like 300 hours of gameplay to max everything out. I'd have like maybe 10 videos, 20 if I'm lucky, and then that's it. It's gone. So Skyblock, 1,000 plus videos still going strong. That there is something there. That is, but the more I play it, the more I make videos about it, the more I see my stats on the channel just plateau. I mean, I've been at 2 million views a month for like, which granted is awesome. I'm sure a
take
lot
it.
of people love that.
We'll take those.
But I used to get 7. And it's been at
Okay.
2 ever since that day in 2021 in like July. Literally the day that blog came out, it's been a slow decline for various reasons. Some in the game, some probably my motivation, Fezzi's motivation. But like, we've been thirded and we have yet to come back from that. And I don't think we're gonna. The analogy I like to use is from Iron Man 2, where it's like, this is the thing keeping you alive, but it's also killing you.
Yeah.
That's Skyblock right now. Like,
Right.
it saved my career, and I'm on the life path that I want, but there's this glass ceiling. You cannot get above this pane of glass unless you quit, basically, which is terrifying because then I could lose it all. So it's like I'm just in this limbo until Hytale releases.
Yeah, and that's a great segue into Hytale because I saw that tweet and I was like, damn, this guy's going through it. You want to come on the Hytale podcast and talk about it?
And I'm like, yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, so we want to talk about Hytale with you and of course Skyblock because, you know, we know you from the Hytale community. That's just how it is. We know you run the Blockshot network, you know.
It's sleeping. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's indefinitely. It's waiting. It's not
Do you
dead, but
plan
it is
to
waiting.
revive Blockshot whenever Hytale gets back up and rolling?
So Fallout New Vegas is still my #1 game of all time.
Mhm.
And Minecraft does not have nearly the resources to bring to life a project like that with a reasonable amount of work, nor do I think it could harbor an audience because, I mean, what Minecraft servers do you know of other than Hypixel that succeed nowadays?
The only other ones like
Mineplex.
Minecraft.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Mineplex
but-
had some other issues, but yeah.
But yeah, so
Love Mineplex.
the point of that being, I still believe in Blockshot. I love the idea. I mean, an arcade shooter is starting to get really overdone. Like, the original plan was like a Call of Duty thing, where it was like, all right, the value proposition here, it's free Call of Duty in block form. It has all the best mechanics, all the best guns. And that's kind of, what's that one game called? That is literally that. It's a voxel looking almost perfect clone of COD in its prime. BattleBit. It's literally that's what BattleBit is. But
Yeah.
that was the start. It kind of morphed into like I want it to be Fallout. in Hytale, where it's like this huge sprawling universe, or this whole map that's like massive, and all these little quests and weapons and upgrades and RPG things, like having stats that go up, like, but not an MMO like Skyblock. Maybe it would be an MMO, but not nearly the amount of grinding that Skyblock requires, or at least it'd be a fun grind. But like that, I'm still very much excited for. What was called the Apocalypse mode back then, I think we might benefit from that just being what the network is.
Well, wasn't there also going to be a storyline to it as well?
There was a story mode, but the more I think about it, the more it probably makes sense to just focus on Apocalypse and just implement these like story elements.
Like NPC.
Oh, he's gone.
He lost internet, or so I think.
Did he? Huh, interesting.
Oh, he's back. He's back online.
There you go. Welcome back.
Oh, what happened?
I'm not sure. You just died there for a second.
Mine, you are frozen now. That's a little odd.
Oh, my now?
Oh, yeah, mine's frozen. Hey, you're back. Oh, 30's back, but mine's frozen.
My Discord either crashed or restarted. Maybe it updated?
I don't know. It's so weird. You just froze and then you just disappeared.
I just got booted off Discord.
That's crazy. Now mine's camera's loading. I should leave this in the video. This is hilarious. This is quality content.
You know what I got to leave in a video once that was insane?
What?
My power cut out, but everything kept going because I had a UPS. So like you could see the lights just, and then
that's sick.
The stream kept going. Like I was still uninterrupted while the power was out. That was sick.
That's crazy. And now mine's camera's having absolute calamity right now. I think you broke Discord there, 30. Fun. Okay, we're back. Both of the Americans disconnected, so Canada's clearly superior. And
the train of thought's gone.
Talk about Hytale. I don't know. Were we talking about Hytale? I don't even know, honestly.
We were talking about Blockshot and
Apocalypse
story mode with Fallout New Vegas.
Yes, that's what good way to
I think we were just moving on from that to the release date. As I said release date, and then that like sparked something.
I knew it. The Hytale's tracking us. They just blew up your computer. They're like, no.
There's a dev in the call right now. They're trying to stop us from spoiling anything.
Yeah, 30 secretly a dev. We just...
Yeah, so sorry to any viewers if whatever we talk about right now does not make sense with what we previously talked about.
It's been like 3 or 4 minutes. I don't remember.
I have a question. If there's a Skyblock variant in Hytale, is that something you are going to
It's a great
go into?
I think it's been long enough, and enough has happened where I can say this. Back when Simon was in charge, the idea did come up between me and him. He started it. Was like, what are your thoughts on a Skyblock in Hytale? And I was like, sounds interesting. I'm not opposed to it. This is before it became like all in MMO, 3,000 hours to get anywhere. Before that, this is when Skyblock was like the latest island was like the end. So like it's been a bit, but basically, yeah, we talked about it. I thought it was neat. I was like, although it probably shouldn't be Skyblock. See, this is now I have the understanding it's an MMO. Back then, I'm like, another Skyblock? But it'd have to be like not Skyblock because that's Minecraft. Like that's forever gonna be a Minecraft thing. So like I stressed if it was gonna happen that it not be in the sky, it'd be like a Skyblock like game mode. But now in hindsight, I should have just said, yeah, just make it like any other MMO at the start. Obviously, it shouldn't be literally every other MMO. That'd be boring. But anyways,
that's different.
Anyways, once, you know, he wasn't in charge anymore and he went to managing Hypixel, I think the topic came up like one more time and it was something like, yeah, we're probably not doing it, but now he's not involved anymore, so maybe it is. It's like, it's been brought up before. It's not impossible that there'd be an officially endorsed Hytale Skyblock MMO thing, but at the moment, I mean, my most up-to-date update. The latest data I'm working with is like 3 years ago at this point, so
Yeah, things have changed, and
So it's really up in the air. They're totally I could see them changing their mind again. Like it's probably a good idea. As much as I hate, as much as I don't like this lifestyle anymore, I did for a bit, but like 12 hours a day of freaking breaking carrots. I'd rather not, but
yeah,
hey, maybe with Hytale's, creator tools, they could make a much more exciting grind in a game like that.
Yeah, I think as Skyblock is the most popular Hypixel game, I believe, of all time. I think they sort of have to, even if it's not to the extent of what it is in Minecraft right now. I think it'll be there.
I think if it'll happen, it won't happen in release. It'll happen like maybe a year after.
Definitely not. I think crafting an MMO that's really good takes a lot of time. So yeah, it's going to be at least another year, I would imagine, after release. Or maybe I probably not.
Because I would imagine I would feel really bad if the reason for the delays, or like a part of the reason for the delays, is because they're also working on an MMO for the minigames, like such a big minigame that takes up the time, where it's like, okay, but you could have like not spent this time on one minigame and just gave us the game, and then like brought it out a year later. So
yeah, they seem to emphasize a lot. They seem to emphasize a lot that it's the engine change that's the biggest time sink, so I would not worry about something like that. I'm sure they have to have something, but like, I mean, every month that the game is available is just a whole month where a team of like 20 fans could get together and make something like Blockshot. Like that is planned to be an MMO, but not like Skyblock. But so maybe it would be a smart move for them to have at least something like the story mode or the vanilla mode, and then maybe like start with a few little game modes on their official server, but nothing crazy, and then let the community just do its thing.
Yeah,
as long as they have as long as the building blocks are there and they're polished and not buggy and they're secure, and backwards compatibility is a big one with me. I'm sure that they're aware of this, and I'm sure that they're on the same plane as me here, but it's like I hate when you have to update your plugins every time a new version of Minecraft comes out. Same with mods. I hate it. Why does it not just work? Like, there's other games that have managed to do this. Some haven't. I'm a big Beat Saber guy, and I have to have a mod assistant application because the game updates like several times a month, and it breaks literally everything, and it's really annoying. Also, all the best mods in Minecraft are like 112, which
a lot of like
8 years ago.
Minecraft mod eras are just like certain versions, and then you just say, okay, this is the version we're developing mods for. So it was like 1.7.10, 1.6.4, and then the 1.12.2.
1.6.4 was awesome.
But considering the origins of Hypixel, I'm not worried about that. I feel like they know the frustration of having to work with 1.8.
I was gonna say, there's a reason they're not 1.20 by now or whatever.
Yeah, because it'd probably break half the server.
Probably more than half the server. The whole server would be down. Nobody would be able to play it just because they updated to 1.9. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Hytale, like, there's this love-hate thing going on. I think the people behind it are awesome, and at this point, it's a ship so big you can't steer it with one opinion. So, like, I don't blame anybody for the fact that it's, like, mid-2023, 2 years after, like, what I'm gonna say is probably one of the worst days of my life, because I had a lot riding on Hytale, not just as a game to play, it was, like, my career. So, like, that said, I don't blame anybody, but I am a bit frustrated that like they didn't pull like Cube World's not the greatest example because of what happened later, but in its heyday, Cube World was loved because it didn't have a lot of features, but what it did have was really polished. Back in like 2012, or not even 2012. Is it 2012? I don't know. Before the Steam thing happened, but like but I don't know, I was of the opinion that Hytale should just come out, like they'll polish what they have and then like make more later. But like
And I think that
it's
would
too
have
late
happened
now.
if the Riot acquisition didn't happen. But I think because it's under Riot, it's like this prestigious big game publisher that it has to be like almost perfect when it comes out, because it's also Riot's reputation at this point now.
It's kind of interesting because like Hytale's going under this like expectation inflation. I feel like that is like a good way to put it, is that just the demands from the community and I'm sure internally just kept going up and up and up, and it's like, oh, we should have cubic chunk loading, which was confirmed. Super stoked about that. Like having multi-version mod support, having vehicles that are just multi-block structures that fly around everywhere. That was one of my suggestions. That scared Simon on Twitter, I remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's actually gonna happen, but I do remember.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I think I made a whole video about this, how like the expectations, the suggestions, people like us talking about it is probably the reason we're still here waiting. But when it finally drops, hopefully it's everything we wanted and then some. But I'm keeping my expectations in check for obvious reasons. Been disappointed before. So keeping it on the down low. Hypixel has a reputation for making the best of the best stuff. So let them cook. But it's been 4 years, almost 5 years. So I'm getting to that point where it's like, is this gonna be another Cyberpunk? I don't think so, but it might be. Like, I've been at this point since that day 2 years ago. Nothing's changed. It's just, okay, it's ready when it's ready has a new meaning for me now. I should not make any decisions in life hinging on the idea of this game releasing. Not a single decision should involve Hytale's release. It needs to be a bonus at this point, which, yeah, I think is a fair stance at this point.
Yes, I think that's what both Chris and I are doing as well. Like, when Hytale comes out, we're gonna go full in. We're gonna try to make this a career, but also on the side, we're just like also trying to make sure our normal lives are set up for success. That if Hytale doesn't come out, which obviously won't happen, but if it isn't the thing we expect it is, we're not completely screwed.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm working full time, as you know, the meme of me at work all the time, and I was at work today when the blog post came out. So like, yeah, if we go full balls to the wall and go full on content when Hytale comes out, if it doesn't work, then yeah, there's a backup. Like, for example, like I already have work experience, so it should be okay to find something else after, right?
Life has been continuing. Life has been going on, which I think is important, that none of us have let it consume us to that point.
And if it does go well, we have some of that
a bonus now
work money
on top.
to invest. Right. Yeah. You have
in my case, like the pressure of Hytale not releasing is a part of what drove me to learn personal finance and like investing, and
that's a good thing to do.
I've done really well for myself, and I'm pretty sure that there's people, millions of people, that have made more money than me, but kept less than I kept in the past 4 years. Like, I've probably kept, I don't even know, if I had to guess, out of all the money I've made in the past 4 years, the amount that's still in my account, post taxes, post expenses, it's like 75%. I've retained so much value because of the fear that it might just all go away and the lifeboat that is Hytale will not come for me. Like, that fear is what drove a lot of my decisions. But which, is not the greatest motivator, but it sure is a powerful one.
Yeah, I mean, if Hytale is what we think it will be, I think it'll be worth saving and investing in. So we'll stick with that.
Yeah.
Well, let's think about this optimistically. Assuming Hytale does come out and it is great, what are you planning to do when it does come out?
I think the event horizon is going to be the announcement of the release date, which will probably be 3 to 6 months beforehand.
Yeah.
When that happens, I'm making a video right away.
Obviously.
Really?
And then that's when the real life plans come into play. It's like, okay, Skyblock, not going to quit, because you never quit a game like Skyblock. You just take extended breaks. That's what I've realized with Skyblock. You never really quit, but it's like, okay, priorities are changing. Either I'm stopping the grind right now, or I'm going to get as many easy videos ready that are not like, let's say I'm just about to hit a milestone. I get there, I get the video recorded, and I'll probably be able to scramble and within a week have 20 videos done. Probably. Because that's gonna... I've been stagnating for so long. Like, when Skyblock was new, I had no problem with 2 hours a day of commute, 8-hour shift, 5-hour stream. No problem with that. Every day. That crackhead energy just, like, was completely motivated by finally making it. I think that's gonna come back. Like, I haven't had that for years. Like, I'm here clicking 2 buttons and doing, you know, just trying to listen to podcasts, get some value out of it, but there's no drive left. It's really just routine, Groundhog Day.
Like
every day's
zombie.
the same. Yeah. So when the game is announced, I'm gonna scramble to get all the easiest content done and out of the way, and have the channel basically run itself while I prepare. Then I'm gonna reach out to everybody in Blockshot, try to get all the people that don't want to be involved anymore out, get all the people that still want to be involved up to date, get all the website stuff back up, get all the Google Docs again, update everything, probably new passwords and logins for everything, because honestly, it's been that long that hacking's probably, we need to, but yeah, so the first thing is going to be a video on my channel. Second thing, get everything figured out for the channel. Then at that point, I'm assuming the channel's not going to be something I even really worry about at all until release. Blockshot, and then once the game finally does come out, I don't know what I'm going to be doing for those 3 months. Probably a lot of, like, I'll be uploading at least a few more videos after that, just trying to remind people what Hytale is, because I mean, my subscriber count has 8x since, like, I stopped really regularly making videos about it. So, like, people need to know. There's so many new people that have no idea what Hytale is. And then once it finally does drop, live stream probably.
Yeah, 24-hour Hytale live stream. We're all doing it.
Honestly, yeah, some really,
right
really long stream where what I'm probably gonna do is, like, maybe a 24-hour stream. I don't know. It depends on how good the content is. If after like 18 hours I'm dead, I'm gonna sleep.
Yeah.
But I do want to have at least 2 or 3 videos recorded that day, send it off to Fezzy, and then I think the plan's going to be to return to that crackhead energy where it's like streaming every day, making a video every day on top of the stream. Both become videos. There might be a time when 30virus is uploading twice a day, where it would be, there'd be a let's play episode, and then there'd be a tutorial every day for the first month. That was my original plan, and I'm gonna stick with it, I think. So there's
you'll get a lot of growth from tutorials, and I know that for a fact, because that's every game. People who do tutorials get so much growth, but Myne wants to do that as well.
We're gonna use all 3 of the pings. There's 3 pings that YouTube gives you a day, or at least that's as of 2 years ago. I don't know.
You get one. You guys are getting pings.
You get 3 pings that your audience sees. So it's gonna be stream, video number 1, video number 2 for a month straight. And then it's going to be like, okay, we're established now. I have 30 tutorials, and they're going to be either about how to use the modding tools, how to get your account set up, all the cosmetics, all the servers, or whatever. I'm going to then probably during that first month as well, it's going to be mostly just stream, record video. But the extra, now that I don't have a 9 to 5 to go to in 2 hours of commute, I can also work on Blockshot. And then it's going to be like,
let's go. Okay,
now it's time to set up this MMO. I might do that in the gap between the announcement and release as well, is get some of the core game mechanics figured out, maybe get some of the infrastructure going already, because it is C++, we know that. And there's a lot of generic stuff that you can code that does not involve hooking into the game itself, like how the scoring works, how the server works, how it's storing data in a, you know, like in a database, like people's accounts, all of their items, you know, a wiki, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's gonna be a crazy 3 months if it's announced that soon. 3 to 4 months, it's going to be insane.
So
I
just a
think
quick
we're gonna
question.
see a lot of lack of sleep.
Yeah.
Who
to
needs
say
a
the
Red
least.
Bull? You need a Red Bull. That's all you
And
need.
then, oh, another thing too is that YouTube's environment nowadays is very focused on quality versus quantity. So you're probably hearing me say, "Oh, I'm making 60 to 90 pieces of content in 30 days." Like,
Good
how
luck.
high a quality? Like, that's not high quality. There's no way. So, like, each video that's a live stream highlight would probably be a few hours of footage, and then Fezzi's going to take those, like, let's say it's 2 hours, spend 2 hours sorting it, spend another hour polishing. Like, it's gonna be like 5 to 7 hours of effort per video. So then the quality will at least be at the like where it should be. But like after that first month is done and it's like all the evergreen, like, oh, this is my first reaction to Hytale. Here's the suggestions I made that made it into the game. Here's what the servers are like. Here's how you install mods. Like once all the baseline, like this is just like all the obvious content's done.
Yeah.
Then I think it's going to be less of a focus on quantity and more like, let's make some crazy, like, potato war and Skyblock, like, scale stuff. Like, make a really awesome, like, video. And just, like, use these, like, 90 pieces of content I've made in the past month to just kind of, you know, I'll continue the Let's Play series, obviously, and that will keep the channel alive. While I put, like, 99% of my free time into just making the best stuff possible, because this demon that is Skyblock is not going to be taking 12 hours a day so I can farm carrots. Ah,
Man, that day you just give up Skyblock, you're gonna be like, hallelujah. Hallelujah.
I'm never quitting Skyblock. You don't quit Skyblock.
No,
It's a
extended
temporary
break
break.
forever. There you go.
Extended break. Maybe not forever. Maybe by the time Hytale comes out, my profile is maxed, and all the content from that point forward would be like the Rift, which you guys probably haven't played. The Rift
Nope,
is
I
like
haven't even played Skyblock before.
it's more quality versus quantity, so you can like get through the update in like 3 days and be done with everything. So if every update's like that in the future, maybe I wouldn't quit Skyblock for good. But like I'm not going to be getting like a space helmet after Hytale's release. Again, not Skyblock players probably don't know the significance of a space helmet. It's 1 billion coins worth of a random crop in the game that you have to give somebody.
Cool.
None of
It
that.
seems like a lot of
anymore.
grinding.
Yeah, I'm most excited when it's funny because like Hytale's release, I'm most excited about just not having to grind anymore. Like
Yeah,
I'll
you're
be I'll be
It's a different type
grinding,
of
but
grind.
not. It's a different. Yeah, it's a more nuanced grind. It's like instead of okay, here's what's in front of you. Click 2 buttons for 100 hours. It's more like now you have to make
Engaging.
videos. You have to make something really cool. You have to contribute. You have to. There's potentially tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that are gonna log into this thing you coded, make it good, like you know.
So, for once the game starts, would you want to follow the main trends, or would you want to like start your own specific trends in Hytale?
On the video side, I'm gonna be as
Yes.
generic as possible, probably for the first month.
Mm-hmm.
But just because there's so much free content.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like
'cause it
after once
works.
everything's already
There's
like
so
established.
I've noticed with YouTube, there's patterns of like, in life, if you want to be successful, usually it's on the fringe of something or like amongst the chaos. Like most investors will tell you that a recession is when people get rich. So like the chaos of something more positive, like a game releasing, you just gotta go. Like you gotta just do everything. Now is the time to be at 110%. And, you know, then it ages. The topic ages and you get to where Skyblock is now, where it's like making a video every day will hurt you more than it will help you. But back in the day, like I made a video about like so many video topics were so stupid. It's like, oh my god, if you use a grappling hook to fly to the other island without using the jump pad, there's sponge there. And that was a entire video. That was a 15-minute Let's Play video showing just like sponges where they're not supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I did it 3 times. 3 different Sponge Lands episodes.
3 of them. You got to do
So,
a
like,
4th. Gotta do a fourth.
So, and then nowadays you have like putting 40 hours into getting all the best stuff in the game for this purpose, and then cheesing the engine, finding a glitch where you get to defeat a boss like 100 hours early in this epic fight, and then it gets like half the views of what just grappling hook flying around the hub did 2-3 years ago. So like now it's maintenance, stay alive. Like there is no more overflowing content. Like, but yeah, so that's the plan with Hytale, is ride the wave, make as much content as humanly possible. Since it's 2 people, it's me and Fezzy, he'll make sure that the quality standards kept up while I just go freaking nuts and make as much content as possible. And then ease into that phase where it's like, okay, now quality really matters. And then like let the Let's Play run its course. I'm gonna guess 3 to 6 months maybe, and then it'll trickle down to like an episode a week, an episode every few weeks, you know. And then phase in something more high effort that's like maybe just working on the server. I don't know. Maybe I can make content for my own server.
Yeah, probably. And you could probably do a bunch of community events like we're all going to be doing. Like, and I'm sure there'll be a bunch of SMPs out there. So yeah, we'll see what happens then. But Myne.
SMPs.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to talk about that. We're already 40 minutes in and we still got to hit viewer questions here.
Yeah, we asked the Discord for some viewer questions
Yes.
that they want to know about you. If you guys are watching this and want to join the Discord, it is the most active Hytale community currently. So go
It's
ahead
straight
and
facts. Don't look it up.
Yes,
go in the description. Talk with some fellow Hytale enjoyers, and you can ask questions to be answered on the podcast. Larry was asking what kind of content you'll be making in Hytale. We kind of already answered this. Yorage asks, what is the first thing you do in Hytale? The very first thing.
Probably just look around. Like once I've spawned in, just like take in
just
that.
Take a deep breath.
I just want to. I want to put my render distance all the way up. I don't even know if you could do that. Like I don't know how that. Maybe there is no slider for it because it's coded so efficiently. Maybe it just loads as far as it can, anyways.
Well,
I just want to see.
Fog, right?
I want to see like 10 miles in one direction and just be like, wow.
You're gonna spawn yourself on a mountain.
This is what multiple cores looks like. Like actually being able to just load a voxel game with more than one core in 2023.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
There's hoping, and since it's not Java, it is very, very possible that that'll happen. Because I mean, it's possible in Bedrock, as far as I know, that you can just render
even if
super far.
Even if it was Java, the issue is just the fact that it uses only one core. Like, spread the load out. I got 32 of them. Like, well, threads. Dude. 32 threads, 16 cores, whatever. But like most people nowadays have at least 8. Like, anyways, it's such a stupid thing to complain about the performance of Minecraft. But like when you buy a $3,000 PC and the best you can handle is like 300 FPS in lobby 1 of Skyblock, it's like that's serviceable, that's great. But when it like spikes and you get that hitch, then you're just reminded you're playing Minecraft, and no amount of money is going to fix that.
So I got 8 cores in my processor right now. You think I'll be fine?
For Hytale, yes.
Yes.
100%.
I do got those 32 gigabytes of allocated dedicated RAM, so we're chilling.
In Minecraft, doing that is a detriment. The limit should be like 4 or 6. If you go over that, it makes performance worse.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I've noticed that.
Yeah. The short answer is I just admire the performance and the quality and like just the fact that I am in the game.
Good answer.
So this one's a popular question, and we're gonna try to keep the discussion short because we've done multiple podcasts on this. Pay to play or free to play?
Oh, good question.
I can tell you what I think it's gonna be and what I think it should be. What I think it's
both.
What I think it's gonna be, and I'm like fairly certain of this. It's almost definitely going to be free to play.
Yes.
Because it's Riot.
Yeah. I can't name a single Riot game that you have to pay for. They're all free.
And not just that, but it's with the times as well. Like all these game companies, Riot included, owned by Tencent. It's publicly listed on some stock market. I think it's Beijing stock market. I don't know.
don't know.
There's investors that want a return on investment. And the only way to do that effectively with gaming is with a constant stream of income, which you don't get from buy it and you own it. I mean, that's just how microtransactions work. That said, I don't think anything should be pay to win. I think the way to do it, apparently this is how Roblox works. I made a whole video on this, but it was basically Robux, right? You get a cut of every purchase that's made in your store, and have vendors that are able to give, you know, some cosmetic on their server. Maybe they're selling a mod to server owners, whatever, right? Just take a slice off the top of every transaction, and then you're good to go, hopefully.
Hey,
what I think
works,
it should, and I guess that transitions into what it should be, is free to play, plus the fact that it's not like trying to beg you for money constantly, which is really annoying.
And I think they've said that they wouldn't make any pay to win stuff in the like official minigame server. So at least that is a statement that we can look back on. If that's to say anything about how the other versions of Hytale are going to be the modes. I do think so that they're not pay to win.
Of all the pay to win things, I think the only acceptable pay to win, in my opinion, is a time saver. So like, let's say that something's time locked and using gems to speed it up. Not ideal, but if you had to do pay to win, that's like the least egregious. It taps into that I want it now mentality, which is the reason Starbucks can get like $8 for a cup of coffee when you can make it for like 10 cents at home. So like that makes sense. But then I would start to have issue when it's like in Skyblock, I don't fully agree with the way booster cookies work, but as a direct beneficiary of that system because of my creator code, I'll admit helps me out an insane amount. But I can acknowledge that, yeah, as a player, it's a little annoying that someone could just spend $100 and then have 500 million or something along those lines by selling it. Like, not great, but I get it. It keeps the game alive.
Right.
Yeah.
But... yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of games on Hypixel. Like, I know Minecraft has that EULA change that says, you know, pay to win, not very good or whatever, something like that back in the day.
Pay to win, only acceptable on PvE. That's their latest stance,
right?
Which is why Skyblock had to remove the Coliseum.
Ah, okay. And then there's other games where you have to, you know, buy in-game like Hypixel coins to buy, like, for example, like weapons or crafts for a specific game mode. Like I played a lot of UHC back on Hypixel, and you have to play the game to earn coins to buy something in the shop that you could theoretically unlock in the game. So maybe not pay to win like that. I think that's okay because you won't get it every game, and even if you get the item, you're still not guaranteed to win because it's quite skill based. So
yeah, I think
okay?
I think Hypixel knows what they're doing when it comes to pay to win, because they managed to toe the line where they can make a good amount of money but not piss off the players. So like, I think Hytale has no issue. I don't think there's going to be an issue if they're like the server team, which I'm sure they're very similar.
Right.
Considering that it started with people who left the server team.
They share the same ideology.
Yeah, and a lot of it's going to just be like buying ranks, pay to look cool, fly around, you know, have that upper dope swagness on top of other players. And
they should offer hosting services and then take a slice off the top.
That would be absolutely genius.
They should be their own MC Pro hosting.
No, it would. They should be. I think it would be like a missed opportunity if they're not.
Yeah, any like adjacent industries that are gonna make money anyways, like hosting, pull some money from there. Have the whole, what's that, vertical integration? Is that what they call it? I don't know. Just be the industry for everything. Be what HH was trying to be.
I was gonna say, like, they wanted to. Hytale said they're gonna have their own Reddit. They're gonna have a wiki. They're gonna have their own Discord. So
yeah,
all our Discords are gonna die.
Yeah, maybe have ads on the website unless you're a ranked player on the server or something like that, you know? Like, just little things that are not, like, getting in the way in-game. Or, yeah.
Cool. Next question.
We have another question from GT asking, what do you like most between all of the 3 game modes? And so, like, as a reminder, there's the official mini games, there's the adventure mode, and then there's just the pure creative sandbox mode. So this would imply that players making stuff
is its own category versus modding. Like, what is it considered if you take the vanilla experience of survival and then add mods on top of that? Is that considered part of the
creative mode?
sandbox?
I think it still stays in creative. Yeah.
So is it more of a survival and creative like mode thing? Like, I'm just confused at where the line is drawn in the sand, because it seems to me that you can modify everything about it other than what Hypixel Zone servers are like. So having these 3 buckets almost doesn't make sense to me, because I feel like eventually everything's going to have custom content in it. So like the whole thing is basically sandbox. But I guess from the player point of view, what would I enjoy the most? Being on a server, playing the vanilla survival, or playing something made by someone else, or making my own world?
That would be it. Like playing other servers would be the third one, I think.
Like
overall, an entire career of this game, not just my first impressions. I mean, the first thing I'm going to play is probably the survival, but I have a feeling, give it a year, 2 years, I'm not going to touch it again. And it's going to be custom content from that point forward. I mean, like, that's how it was with Minecraft. And I know they don't like the comparison, so I'm not going to really drive that home. But I just have a feeling that maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they make it like Terraria progression, where there's just a billion things to do. Like, maybe.
That'd be dope.
It's possible. I mean, 7,000
like
different
that.
pickups, so
I have to say, of my time playing video games, the best experiences were when I was out there on my own, surviving, getting new stuff. And I guess with new content, you know, like, I think of Subnautica, right? Where it's like this, not quite a tailored experience. There's some events that are scripted, but overall it's kind of like an explore your own world sandbox experience. If they can do that, if they can tap into Subnautica, and they have acknowledged comparisons before to Subnautica, the dev team, I should say. So if it's like that, and they just keep adding to it, not necessarily the underwater part, but just the progression of having different zones, different things interact with, getting stronger gear, and it just keeps on going, and they keep on adding more steps to this staircase, and you just keep climbing. I'd be down. I'd love that. I mean,
that's something we could see with the multiple planets being added.
Yeah,
that's a whole new realm of.
Yeah, it's hard to answer the question because I see the merit in all of it. Like servers, I feel like most of them are going to be garbage. To be honest, most of it's going to be a quick cash grab. When we're talking about, like, if there's 100 server, 90 of them are going to be bad, or 100 servers, 90 of them will be bad. But we don't talk about those 90. We talk about the 10 good ones. So I get that. Of the 10 good ones in that case, there's a ton to look forward to as well. When the game's new, probably going to be 0 cheaters.
Can't wait.
It's gonna be nice.
Wait.
There'll be a nice month to 2 months before cheat developers catch up. So, like, you'll just have an untainted experience. You can just play Hytale Bed Wars, which I'm fairly certain is going to be a thing, or at least
it's alright. I think it's pretty much confirmed.
Hytale Bed Wars, I'm going to play the crap out of that while it's still untainted. And they talked about anti-cheat. They claimed, they have so much more control over cheating than Hypixel did, which is true. But inevitably, I mean, we have to face the facts.
Cheaters will find a way.
They will find a way. It is,
and I will still beat them.
It is a fact of life. Just having the minimal amount of cheaters. Just do a Fortnite. I hate that game and Epic Games, but you know, the one thing they did right is anti-cheat, and it's through litigation.
Good for them.
I'm pretty sure they sued the biggest cheat developers, and now no one does it because I think it was more than just a lawsuit. I don't want to start talking out of, but from what I understand, they don't have a cheater problem in a game that would easily be cheatable from a coding stance.
I personally have not come across. It might have been one cheater in my time of playing Fortnite, but it's really good.
That's crazy.
So hopefully that's what we get with Hytale. Hopefully.
Yeah. So I'm sure the first
crossed for that.
So the first content creator who's the best PvP or tournament in the first 2 months of Hytale is going to be epic.
Okay, so then the third category, the sandbox. Do you mean like creative mode as a player, or like a coder that's making a game mode?
So the sandbox and creative would be what we know as single player for Minecraft.
So just creative mode, just building. Like, I
It's
would
like
not be.
the story mode is not there.
For example, most SMPs would likely take place in this, I would have to say.
So it's still survival, but it's like custom content. So it is
Yeah.
kind of like
It's basically
It's
adventure
kinda
mode,
like
but
the
without the
adventure
lore,
mode,
pretty
yeah.
much. Yeah.
it's gonna be a content farm. I feel like for YouTube, so it would be
Yes.
good financially for me. But in terms of enjoyment, I think it depends on what's made at that point. If I had to pick a broad category that I would be the most excited for, it'd probably. I don't know. I really.
And I think
Probably the
it's so hard.
survival, honestly. If they do make it like a Fallout New Vegas, Subnautica, like something in that realm where it just taps into that part of my brain that loves upgrades, there is a reason I've been playing Skyblock 4 years. There is a lot of that, but having like immersion, having a long story that's not full of filler, I'll take a little bit of filler. I'll play for 3,000 hours if they are awesome 3,000 hours. And I only did it in Skyblock because it's my job, to be honest. Full transparency, I would have been done after 500 probably, otherwise. But I think the survival mode would be my answer, with the assumption that they make it like really good.
Yeah, and I think we can assume that it will be probably pretty good. They have a lot of lore. Like before, there was 90 pages of lore, and they said there's a lot more now. So.
Yeah, so I'll enjoy it probably. That's where the peak is going to be. That's where the highest level of enjoyment will be, but it won't last very long. I feel like a few months maybe. So then long term, the most enjoyment spread out over time will probably be in that content creation, like being the YouTuber, making all this stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where most of my time is going to be spent, and I'll probably enjoy it. But the peak won't be as high.
All right, I think we got time for one more question here.
We got one more, and this is probably the spicy one, something relevant to today.
Ooh.
Larry asks, how do you like the new Hytale blog post?
Okay. I'll give my perspective first. I'm a guy who tries not to stay. I'll stay involved. I think the people are cool. I like to congratulate them when I see things I like. But this time, from mostly my perspective is, it's not relevant to me until it's announced or out.
Right.
It was a bit of a nothing burger for me. Because
Really?
I didn't get what I was looking for, which is some news of a release. Again, I'm not an artist. I can't fully appreciate when I see this really crazy detailed piece of art. I can acknowledge that it's great and awesome, but it's just not where my interests are. I want to see if it was something that was not news of a release, I think the technical side of things, the coding side of things would have been more engaging for me. So it just wasn't really for me. It wasn't bad. It wasn't at all. And the news that there's third parties testing the game is nice. I do like, not the game, tailored experiences in the game. That is nice because now it's, I guess, a step up from vaporware at this point. It exists, and there's people that are not Hypixel that can tell you that. So
That's cool.
That's a thing. If they want people's opinion, then they're probably not going to redo it again because they've built something. And if people like it, they're going to stick with the thing they built. So the biggest news or the biggest implication there is that, okay, we've taken another step forward because there is now third parties
Outside
testing.
people.
Otherwise, the rest of it, it's a whole lot of the same. Hypixel, from my point of view, with this one's been like, yeah, everything's great. We're moving forward. We love our jobs. We love our people. You guys are awesome. See you in 6 months. There's a lot of nice words, but they know what we want.
They
know exactly what we want.
They know
they're holding off.
Holding off is all they've done for 4 years when it comes to nothing. Ever since that day, that was the most real I've ever seen the team, was that blog post in July 2021. It was early July. I don't remember.
July 1st.
July 1st or second? First. As much as that hurt, that was the most real I've seen it. If I had to request anything from them, it would probably be again, the obvious, so I'm not even gonna say it out loud. When they feel comfortable, they'll do it, but I'm still sitting here like I want to take my break from Skyblock. I want out. They have a perfect opportunity too, because I'm sure you guys have noticed by now, Minecraft is very cyclical. It'll go up in popularity, it'll go down in popularity.
It is down right now.
It is down depth right now.
It is decreasing right now. It is in that state of, oh, it's becoming cringe again. So like when Hytale was announced, I think the reason it got so many views on its announcement trailer is the fact that people were sick of Minecraft.
Yeah.
They wanted the alternative. And I guarantee you by next year, we're not getting another spike for Minecraft. It's going to be where it is now, if not lower. So if the team were to scramble together in the best quality they can manage, getting it out by summer of next year, that would be the ideal time, in my opinion. Because Minecraft
just like
community is sick of not getting the content. Okay, the Hypixel community, right? The Hypixel community is sick of Mojang. They've been sick of Mojang. But
I think the Minecraft as a whole, because I mean the last update, I don't think people were happy about it because it added nothing. So I think it is.
Nothing good.
Hey guys, it's been a year, so we added 17 different variations of kite. Next Minecraft update, we added 13 different colors of kite. You can customize the string, and you can fly it around. See in
Minecraft.
And now, if you were to get everything from this update together, you would need 17 double chests, but none of it matters because it's all cosmetic. And the progression isn't changed at all, and it's still going to be beatable within like a day if you don't speedrun it. See ya!
See you next year when Hytale still isn't out.
Yep. So honestly, I'm not gonna push the admins, pushing the admins. I'm not gonna push the devs and the whole staff team, not just the developers. I'm not pushing anybody. They know what I want. I feel like I speak for most people when I say, if a blog post came out like tomorrow saying, "Hey, release dates in 6 months," we'd like lose our minds.
I'd blow up.
Absolute elation, joy.
I'll be at work.
There's still the possibility of them maybe potentially releasing one next month when the actual 1-year anniversary of the summer blog post is out. It's a reach because we just had a blog post.
Hey,
so devs are listening.
We're gonna get some monthly.
To this podcast.
The summoning circles are working.
You know, I will put it into words. I will say it. If I had a request, begging,
get on your knees.
I don't care when the release date is, as long as we know. I think we're getting to a point soon where it's like, the engine, done. Now we can have a decent idea of when it's coming out. And if anything, right, if they start out by saying it's going to be 1.5 years, and that's like their long shot goal, like that's if it takes too long, it's 1.5 years, and then they pull it back and say, hey, we're actually more efficient than we thought, it's 1 year from now. So like, I'd even be happy with an overestimation. Just a day. I want to see where the tunnel ends in the worst case scenario. I just want to see the end of the tunnel. Even if it's like 2 years. Just give us an end of the wait. And I understand programming is just such a crapshoot. You think it could take 30 minutes, it takes 3 hours. You think it takes 3 hours, it takes 3 days. You think it's going to take 3 weeks and it takes 30 minutes. I know. That's how it is sometimes. But like...
Yes. On that note, 30.
Yeah.
I think we wrap up the podcast here.
Yeah.
It's been over an hour.
Heard.
My cries hopefully have been heard.
Yes.
Thank you.
I think Hytale as a team is very receptive, and I feel like they're fighting back so hard to actually... They're fighting hard against just doing what I said. They want to so bad. I know they do.
They do.
And I acknowledge that.
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you, 30, for joining the podcast today. It's been fun just talking about Hytale and Skyblock for over an hour.
Over an hour. It's so easy to talk about this game for so long.
Yeah. And then people on Reddit are like, how did these guys talk about Hytale for an hour when there's no news? I'm like, I don't know, we just do. So
Yeah.
Where can everybody find you, 30? I mean, if they don't know by now.
at 30virus everywhere except Snapchat, because that platform doesn't let you get your name back. I tried.
Good to
The
know.
account doesn't exist anymore. I fight for every platform to have 30virus on it, so I'm coming for you, whoever 30virus is on Kick. I'm coming. And I'm gonna get my name back.
Get it.
By the way, I might not even stream there. Don't know. Just as
It's
policy,
just to have the name.
I fight for
um,
30virus everywhere because no one randomly names himself that.
Exactly.
It was
It was definitely one of your fans, and you know, if Kick decides to give you out one of those XQC contracts, I'm sure we'll see you on there. I'll be on there too. Don't worry.
that would be something. I don't think it's gonna happen, but
Hey, you never know. The Hytale podcast will be on Kick with our $25 million 2-year deal. It's gonna be sick. All right, see you guys next time. Goodbye.